What is going on, everybody? I'm your man, Rob Westerman of GUP Daily, and thank you for checking us out on the 6th edition of Pack Casual. Along with me this week and every week of Pack Casual is the one and only Johnathan Beckman. Johnny, man, how you doing?
What's up? Feeling good.
Yeah?
Big week ahead of us. I'm also, side note, excited for the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah?
I love some Ryder Cup. So along with the Packers, along with the Packers game, I'm gonna be watching a little bit of Ryder Cup this weekend. So a little bit more than just football. So that's always fun.
Good stuff. I see you guys won Friday night.
Hell
For those
yeah!
of you who don't know, my man's offensive coordinator for a varsity program here in the area. Calls the plays.
Yeah, we our running back went for 260. We ran for probably about 350 on the ground. Threw for another 100. I think it was about 120 something. So we blew it up. Homecoming game, which was good. I mean, we've been building up to it. I mean, we still have had a lot of mistakes. But I mean, we got a lot of yards.
2 dubs for you this week. All right. Well, let's jump right in, huh? Let's kick things off on a positive note. Our guy, Eric Stokes. The guy. Let's go. He's PFF's highest graded rookie cornerback through the first 2 weeks of the season. I saw he was targeted 4 times and gave up just 1 catch, also breaking up 2 passes, which both of them were on 4th down. Big time plays. Is he cornerback 2? Do we need to see more? What do you think?
Yeah. I memean, honestly, I know the people want it. Which the people aren't always
too early.
I think it'll be interesting this game because I think although 49ers have tended in the past to run it down our throat, especially in that NFC Championship game. Didn't Garoppolo have like 5 passes in that game?
Oh yeah,
wasn't that they ran the ball 40 times? Yeah. So regardless, I don't know if our DBs are going to be tested as much this week. So I mean, I'm not sure if we'll figure it out just yet. But going into the Steelers, where they've got a lot of receiving threats,
he might
be our guy. Yes, although it did kind of concern me, and I'm kind of curious to know on that touchdown in the corner to Cephas? When they were wide open. I'm kind of curious to know if that was a mental error on his end or
I had seen, sorry to cut you off, I saw Coach had said King should have stayed with him. I knew I was between King and Stokes.
Okay.
Coach came out and friggin' basically just said he took King right here and just threw him right under the bus.
Hey, throw him under.
Hey, being honest at least. But yeah, he was wide open. So, but hey, John Zimmerman, King did save a touchdown Sunday, knocked it away. He did. That play was good by him, and I was glad to see it.
Nobody's ever doubted his athletic ability and his ability to make good plays. Yep. It's just the consistency is just way more down nowadays, it seems like, than up. I mean, he just seems to be getting beat by receivers that are, I mean,
not good.
Not getting beat by Devontae Adams.
No, Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller, Cephas on that first. And I understand, we need a better.
Last week, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Thomas, that Saints receiver. Name's not coming to my head, but yeah, the guys that aren't named Devontae, D-Hop.
So hopefully, maybe it is Stokes, but I did see a lot of the way that Barry was kind of scheming it up was Stokes and King were on the same side a lot, and it seemed like he was kind of playing Jair to kind of his own side. But we also know Jair can play in the slot. He can play outside. He can play anywhere. So, I mean, hopefully Stokes is that guy.
I'm hoping he is. He's done well so far. Obviously, we all know what King's about. Although he's not the greatest on the outside, like Carson said, at the very least, slot corner. And, we saw a lot of that this last week, and he seemed to be okay. I mean, not terrible. So, it is what it is. So, next up, Aaron Jones, baby. 4 touchdowns, 17 carries, 67 yards, also 6 catches for 48.
And he got you an important touchdown.
He does it all, baby. Yep. Week 1 win goes to me. I'll take it. Well, week 2. week 1 didn't count.
Yeah,
So
we didn't score a touchdown.
yeah, so we'll take it. Which, hey, I'm off to a good start. Which that kind of reminds me, you still need to pay me for last year's win. I don't know how many weeks I'm gonna have to keep reminding you, but the
Meet up.
ball's in your court. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
no, just get it taken care of, right? Like,
yeah, no, I got you. 4 touchdown performance though. So does that justify you after week 1, where we didn't see him doing much because we weren't getting him the ball? And then you see what happens when we get him all these touches.
yep.
Is a game like this enough, or what is enough to justify us re-signing him the way we did?
Oh man,
What's enough? What will give you enough?
I don't know. He just seems to be a Packer. Like the way he acts, obviously the way he plays, everything about him. Just I love watching him. I love watching his pressers. Everything. Obviously with 4 touchdowns last year, I think he had 3 against the Lions. That's our guy, and I'm glad if it came down to him or Corey Linsley, then yeah, I'm picking Aaron Jones all day. Obviously,
Yeah.
Linsley was the best center in the league last year, and thankfully we drafted Josh Myers and he was playing good. But yeah, Aaron Jones, as you know, he's just a stud. I feel like the offense at this point in age runs through him. I think you're probably on the same page, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was texting. I know you were at the game, but I was texting you. I was texting some of my friends. Run the ball.
Yes, sir. I tried to.
I was always in the last years of McCarthy when I was always throw the ball with Rodgers. But this offense goes so much smoother and it is so much more effective when we think run first or not necessarily even run first, but running the offense through Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon.
It opens everything up.
I mean, it just seems to always flow a little bit better because I mean, Aaron Jones is kind of like a Christian McCaffrey, Kamara, where they're threat all over the field. I mean, I would have taken, I like keeping him over Linsley too. Linsley was huge, but as we see, rookie center Josh Myers is PFF's highest rated rookie O lineman through week 2.
Yes, sir, baby.
That can be,
It's only 2 weeks, but hey.
2 weeks. But hey, at the end of the day, I think when you get a quarterback like Rodgers and you get a quarterback like Peyton Manning and those Bradys of the world, they really can make that center progression go so much quicker. Like when they learn because just the little things, this cadence, blitzing, I mean, they got to be the quarterback of the offensive line. And I think when you got a guy like Rodgers behind him, it's accelerated, where he's at.
Helped him move along quick, which I agree. Like you said, highest offensive line for a rookie rated, by PFF. That alone obviously goes to show he's been playing good. There hasn't been any botched snaps. There hasn't been any false starts by him. I mean, everything, especially when I went and watched it again, the normal broadcast, he's calling, making switches and stuff, and he's right along. Obviously, with Rodgers as quarterback, you're constantly changing the play at the line of scrimmage. You're snapping the ball when there's 12 men on the field or if somebody jumps off sides. I mean,
one thing, obviously you being at the game, and one thing they got, brought to attention that's true about Green Bay is it's really incredible. A lot of teams, if they try to get 12 guys off the field, and nobody's ever been better in the history of the NFL than Aaron Rodgers at it. And that's just a statistical fact. It's crazy how Green Bay, everyone's on the same page.
Yep.
And they've got actual plays out of it where they're just, I
love it because
they're running actual plays, and it all starts though with the center. If the center's not there, not ready, not getting that snap off, none of it matters.
And that's the thing is like when they run up and all the receivers are like right next to the line, that's like my favorite thing because it's like, screw it, we're not wasting any time running outside. We're all tight in. It's like hike the ball, let's go. I don't know if you noticed that, like the second or third time they tried it, they didn't get the flag, but they got the first down anyways to Cobb.
Yeah, they got the first down I think that was the one over the middle, right?
Right. So, and Cobby was like, boom, let's get it. Like flag or not, like we're moving the chains, and thankfully we got it. Otherwise,
that's where Cobb's so valuable is that he did this with Rodgers for 5 years, and or however long it was. And so he knows what to expect and where to go. And that's a veteran thing. He's not just sitting there dancing around, doesn't know what he's doing.
Yep.
But, I mean, we didn't get touchdowns off him, but we got big, first plays. And that's a credit to Rodgers too. Sometimes you don't always
he brought him in. He brought Cobb in, right? That's all him, baby.
All right. Well, so let's talk about Rodgers. 255 yards, 4 touchdowns, moves into 10th place in NFL history for passing yards.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's what I'll say looking at that 10th place. Ahead of him is Matt Ryan, ahead by, 4,000 or 5,000. I think, was it Roethlisberger up there too?
Uh-huh.
So he's going to be
Rivers, Peyton Manning, obviously.
He's going to have a little bit of tough time going from 10 to like 7 because those guys
It'll be a little bit.
Those 7, 8, 9 guys are kind of still playing. But Rodgers has never been a huge 300, 400-yard passing guy anyway.
Right.
His claim to fame isn't how many passing yards he has. It's about his efficiency with his touchdowns, the interceptions, and stuff like that. So that's kind of something that he's always been known more for.
And shoot, if he connects to MVS on one of those for 60, 70 yards, he's already at, 340 yards.
He could have 350. Yep. So what's your thoughts on his performance versus the Lions? Expected, didn't know what to expect, overwhelming, underwhelming. I mean, because no matter what, there's always an opinion.
Right. I was expecting a big game out of him. 4 touchdowns. If you would have told me that, I would have been like, okay, that's a great game. But honestly, overall, I thought he played good. And I say good because he seemed to kind of not really be himself, especially when the pocket was collapsing. It seemed like he spinned into that 1 sack, which we're not used to him doing. Took 2 other sacks during the game, just kind of some uncharacteristic stuff, especially the one where he spun into it. That was kind of where I was like, dude, like that doesn't really happen usually.
He's a little bit older, okay?
Yeah, I get it.
Give the man he's not Lamar Jackson.
No, he was insane the other night. But
all those he was sorry to cut you off, but I think he was making a comment. I think it was in his presser afterwards. He was talking about all those times where it looks like he can get 3-5 yards now. It's not as easy as it used to be,
No, he's a little older, and that's cool. I mean, if he's going to retire after this year, after we win the Super Bowl, that's cool with me. So, no, I think he played good. Obviously, he went 22 for 27, 255 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Still have some room for improvement, which obviously is a huge compliment for 30 other QBs in the league. This is obviously a near flawless night.
Yeah.
If you're talking about just about anybody outside of maybe Brady and Mahomes and whatnot. But the misses to MVS, those bombs, obviously those will – at least MVS is outrunning the defender and the balls are too far rather than they're too short. I mean, if we're going to have it one way or the other, obviously this is the way it's going to be. If he can just dial it back a little bit where – I mean, man, he could have hit on – the first one was tough. The last one towards the game was – I mean, those last 2 that MVS was overthrown on, he was pretty much wide open, at least in the NFL wide open, or at least in college wide open. NFL, when you have a step or 2, I mean, you're pretty wide open. I was listening to McAfee on yesterday, and he's like, if I can see, the numbers or the back of the helmet, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can fit it in the spot that I want it to go, which obviously just goes to show what kind of accuracy he has. And seeing it in pregame, I was telling my wife, I was like, just look at him throw these passes because they're so crisp and quick, and it's just nuts.
I wanted to taunt Tunyon, and you were saying, you were obviously at the game,
right?
And you were sitting there saying, "Oh, Allen Lazard," and then you see that ball, and you're just like, "Whoo!"
Yeah, I was in that end zone too, right there, right in front of us. I was like, "Lazard, let's go! First down, perfect. It's on 3rd. Like we'll get 1st and goal." And then he zips it to Tanya, and it was so fast that I, almost blinked and it hit Tanya, and I was like, damn. And then Tanya's flexing the end zone. I'm like, let's freaking go, dude.
Yeah, I had the same thing when I went to the Packers-Cowboys game, the playoff game. I can't remember what year it was in the divisional. The Dez caught it.
Dez caught it.
His one to
You
Richard.
can drop that thing.
His ball to Richard Rodgers on the, I want to say it was the north end zone, or whatever. Going left was the
Where he
same.
like threaded the needle between the two guys.
It was the same type of thing. You just saw it live, and you're just like, whew.
That's a badass game to be at. I guess I forgot you were at that one.
You know what? You know what I have the biggest problem with that nobody cares about?
Let's hear it.
That is, and it's like literally the most annoying thing, especially with Skip Bayless, is they always talk about how Dez caught it, and they would have won. We're totally neglecting the fact that Green Bay, after
walking down that field,
the ball, and I think it was actually to Cobb on a big third down, but Green Bay literally got the ball to the 30-yard line to score again, and then what they do? They kneeled the ball.
Yeah, game over.
So regardless, even if Dallas scores, Green Bay.
Yeah, we're going down to score.
Even when Green Bay won that game, they were still going down and still just about scored, and then said, we don't need to score, and kneeled the ball. So to act like Dallas was totally screwed over.
Dude, and the thing is, it's like people try to argue that it's a catch or not a catch. According to the rule, it's not a catch. Like, it's not my opinion. It's like, dude, I don't agree with the rule, but that's the like the taunting rule. I don't agree that's taunting, but it's the rule, and they're going to enforce it. That is the rule that they beat the Lions the week before on. So it's like, dude, Dez can freaking do this all day. Like, I don't care. Like, that's a drop. Like,
they'll live and die on that bed, and that's fine.
Yeah, they can live in misery, and that's cool. Like, we went on and lost the next week, so it's not like we have a huge skin in the game anyways. It's like, dude, the rule says you drop the ball, and if you didn't want to drop it, then you shouldn't have let Sam Shields get close to you and you drop it, hits the ground. It's like, no, like, you drop that shit, move on. And yeah, they're, like you said, they're gonna keep living with that, and that's fine. I'm not gonna keep living on friggin' Morgan Burnett kneeling when Julius Peppers was telling him to. I'm not gonna live on that. That's just how it worked. That's how it happened, and that's that.
Sounds like last year, Rob.
What do you say?
Sounds like you are, Rob.
Yeah, maybe. And last year with Kevin King, that flag, like it was a holding. Yeah. Were they calling it all game on us or on them? No. And then they decided to call it on us. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, season's over. Sweet. Like, the freaking play happened. The ball dropped incomplete. I even had a couple seconds to kind of like celebrate. We're like, hell yeah. Like, we get the ball back. And then the flag comes in, and I'm like, just stop. Like, it's so fucking annoying. And yeah, we know more than anybody. Like, I was watching the Giants game the other night. Yes, they jumped off sides. There's this Giants account on Twitter. He's like, we're cursed. I was like, dude, no, you just fucking suck. Like, your team sucks, and that's what it is. Like, bad teams make bad plays. Like, you're not cursed. You just suck. Like, what are you expecting to win with Daniel Jones and a mediocre defense? Like, come on.
Come on, Rob. You're going after the Giants. Give
him
some breath. You're going after a poor man.
I'm like, you're not cursed. You just suck. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Like, we don't freaking suck, yet we find out these crazy ways to lose games. Like, Aaron Jones never fumbled all year last year, and he fumbles twice in the NFC Championship game at home, and then we pick it off 3 times in the second half, and we're the best goal-to-goal offense in the league, and we can't score one time, and we score 80% of the time in the red zone, and we didn't score because Devontae drops it, which he never does. It's like, dude, just freaking stop. Like, it's just so annoying. We didn't even have this in the script, and it's just like, shit like that is so annoying. It's like, no, you're not cursed. Your team is just bad. So let me chime something in here. I know you're not like a huge like follower of the Dolphins. Just give me like a quick 20-second, like, what do you think? What do you think on Tua? Is he good? Is he bad? What do you think? What do you think?
On Tua?
Yeah. He got hurt last week. The ribs went out. Is it too early to kind of give a sense, or what are you thinking?
There's just no way that guy's ever going. I mean, the problem is a lot of us, we look at the quarterbacks of the Rodgers and all that, the Brady's. I just can't imagine him getting to that level. So I'm just always gonna and being on that team, I think he's capped as far as how good he can get. I just I think he'll always be decent, but I don't ever see him being like an elite quarterback as far as that.
One of the best college quarterbacks of all time, statistically,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me.
Well, I mean,
That's nuts.
so was Vince Young, Matt Leinart.
Oh yeah, Melvin Gordon statistically is one of the, and so is Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in
Yeah.
college
Oh,
history.
yeah. I mean, I don't watch it. Obviously, a ton of Dolphins games for obvious reasons.
No, I just wanted to get your quick opinion.
Obviously, like I mean, I like Tua, but yeah, he seems like he's a good dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
I just don't see that down there in Miami. They got new receivers every year.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Devontae Parker and all these guys. It's just like all right, Mike Gesicki, tight end. No, they'll be good. Defense is good. They got Flores over there from the Patriots. Sorry to go on this Dolphins rant. Just had a quick comment come to my mind. So let's move it on. And before I move on, Giants suck. I don't have anything against them. You're not cursed. You just suck. All right. Another guy who stuck out to me, and probably a lot of you who watched the game, was Devondre Campbell. That dude in his long hair was just all over the place. Played a solid game. 13 tackles, an interception. It's just finally nice to see a linebacker on our defense have like a good night. And yeah, hopefully this can kind of continue moving forward. What do you think?
I mean, he obviously a personal. Why obviously you can watch it at the game versus the TV copy.
Yep.
He did struggle early.
He did.
I can't pinpoint the exacts. I just remember being like, "What the hell are you?" There was one. I don't know if it was one of the passing touchdowns. So he started off rough, but then I mean, it's hard not to.
I think it was Hawkinson where he was kind of in coverage with Stokes, maybe, or was it King?
Yeah, no, I'm having.
I think it was Stokes. They're both right there.
But it's hard to miss somebody with that type of hair.
Oh yeah, no. And when Hawkinson caught that catch in the corner of the end zone, it was in our end zone, and I was like, "This ball is going out of bounds." Yeah. And then he comes down.
That was a hell of a throw. It was a really good throw.
I was like, "Wow, like goodness." So
yeah, I mean, we need
a good game.
To answer your question, yeah, we need. Green Bay hasn't had very good middle linebacker play. I mean, ever. Really, it seems like much in the last 10 years. So,
yeah. Whoa! You're a friend, a personal friend of Nick Barnett, and whether he's watching or not, you can't just be dissing him like that. Like what?
Man, but Nick's last year with Green
Super Bowl or year after.
Well, obviously he didn't play in the Super Bowl, and obviously he was taken off because they didn't let him get in the team photo of the Super Bowl because they didn't want injured guys in it. Whatever, that's another story.
Dude, that's shitty. I didn't even know that.
He would go on a rant on himself, but yeah, I mean the middle linebacker play just hasn't been that great overall, and it just seems like because of the running back situation now that a lot of them get involved in the passing game. You just have to have those athletic middle linebackers. You see the different Bobby Wagner's around the league. I mean, I know he's not in the league anymore, but Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis when he was in the league.
Just a beast.
What's his name for the 49ers who are 54. He's one. He might be the best middle linebacker in the league. Warner.
Yep.
And then the guy with the Colts. It's like you watch all those guys. Leonard.
Yep.
And then Devin White with the Bucks. Like you see all these middle linebackers.
Don't remind me.
Green Bay has not had anything like that. I mean, they tried to get that in Oren Burks. But it ain't
happening, unfortunately.
But yeah.
So no, good. Let's move on. So I've seen some people get mad, whatever, on Twitter. Joe Barry's been a popular punching bag the last week or two. So when the news came out that apparently Matt LaFleur had to tell Joe Barry, obviously our defense coordinator, to apply pressure on Goff, to adjust the defense a little, is this alarming that coach has to do that, or is that not his job? Like, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that. I know he's the head coach, but I mean, how LaFleur seems like he doesn't seem like the type of guy that steps on people's toes. But if if he's speaking up and telling you that you need to change, it is kind of alarming. But there's a lot to that type of story. There's a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
When
maybe Joe asked him, "Hey, do you think we should do this?" And Matt was like, "Yeah, let's give him
Yeah, I
pressure."
mean,
And then it came out
when
weird.
Joe was interviewed before, I mean, not right before the game, but during the week, like, and they asked him like that question, like, "Hey, like, why are you guys not playing up?" And he kind of gave a vague answer and kicked the can down the road, but he made it seem like the corners have that decision to play up or back, but he was very vague about
It's
it.
like, don't give him the decision, just put him up on the freaking man and make him beat you. Like,
yeah, I mean, I know you were at the game, but Joe Barry was getting eaten alive on Twitter by everyone saying, "I'd rather have Pettin, blah blah." And honestly, for me, it's 2 weeks, so really, let's not
too early to
overreact
tell.
on Joe Barry for 2 weeks. Not only that, but it's like, hey, if another D coordinator is failing with some of these guys and all these D coordinators, maybe it's some personnel
maybe it's
issue.
the guys. Like,
Yeah.
And we don't have Z. There's no pressure on the quarterback whatsoever. Like,
I mean, our D line, Kenny Clark played outstanding. I mean, he was shedding blocks left and right. But besides that,
we never hear about Kenny Clark.
I think there was a play where Lancaster, I think they had a 3rd and 1. Lancaster got buried 3 yards backwards, double teamed. And everybody knows, I mean, it's what we teach our guys at a high school level. If you're going to get doubled, the worst thing you can do is get pushed back. You turn, fall, and you
down and bring them both down with you at least.
You make a pile.
D-line. That's the thing. Is like, when's Jack Heflin going to get some snaps or even be able to dress? It's like these guys that are playing, and Kingsley Kiki, another guy who
he's at back-to-back, like, bottom of barrel.
Just isn't performing. Like, at the end of the day, is not performing. Like,
yeah.
How many weeks? I'm going to give Joe Barry the defense some weeks to kind of gel, but it's a shorter note with the guys in the defense. Like, I'm not going to – I mean, we don't have any say whatsoever, but how are they going to give him more than, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to just play like absolute dog shit?
The problem is
they make a move.
The offense seems like it needs to be in rhythm and on script to play well.
Right.
And if the defense is playing bad, are we going to start off the season with 3-4 losses in the first 8 games because the defense is not coming around yet and the offense can't get in a groove because the defense is just getting piss pounded?
Yep. No, I get it. All right. Some good news to cap off the Monday Night victory. Aaron Jones' necklace of his dad's ashes was found at almost like 2 a.m. by the head athletic trainer on the field. AJ lost it during the game. I think it was during a touchdown. I know he said after the game, like, if there's any place to lose it, it's at Lambeau and whatnot. But just some good news to add on to a great night. And, yeah, I'm glad they found it. So, do we now have a punter and a kickoff returner? Maybe it's early, but so far
he looked pretty solid on a couple of those. Like, he looked like he was actually dangerous. Like, he could make some play, do something.
Like a one cut and go. I'm not gonna talk about kickoff coverage because I want to go there, but
I didn't love Amari Rodgers' punt return.
Yeah,
he needed to get 5 yards.
Right. To his defense,
there was 5 yards that way, 5 yards that way, and 5 yards that way. And sometimes you got to just get 5 yards and not get 20.
Right. So no, to his defense though, the defense haven't really forced a ton of punts. So like, how much practice has he had through 2 weeks? Not a lot, but
yeah.
I'm hoping.
Well, there's something to learn from. Hopefully
he improves.
Like that's my biggest pet peeve. And something every day at practice. I was doing it again today. We're about to play against a team that's very disciplined and they're good and they're tough. And we're telling our running back, sometimes you just got to take 3 yards.
Right.
Just take 3 yards and live.
What you can get.
Let's play the next play. You don't have to string it out to try to make a grand slam every time.
Yes, no doubt. Miller Prestes says our new punter was kicking some skyrockets during warmups. I was just about to bring that up. During pregame, those punts by our guy, by their guy, I mean, in person, it's so wild watching, one, how high they go, and two, like, if you're watching straight on with them, how much they move in the air before they actually start dropping. Like, I hated returning punts way back in the day.
Last year, he had a 72-yard. He had the NFL's longest and shortest punt, 72 yards and 12 yards.
Nice.
That's quite the stat that they pulled up during the game. It was kind of interesting.
That's kind of impressive. Just for his sake, we'll give him some props for holding both. JK, I'm surprised didn't have the shortest, but okay. Before we close the page on Monday night, let's talk about Kevin King. I've said it on the show plenty, and that that I'm rooting for him, and I hope he plays good. But as I was in the stands getting loud as hell, opening drive, we forced him to a 3rd and 1, and then I look up, and Kevin King's on the bad side of another deep ball. What is your position on Kevin King right now? Do you want him to get cut? Do you think he has a spot in the slot? Like, what do you think?
I saw a pretty depressing thing about our old guy Casey Hayward over in Oakland.
Yeah, I think I might have seen the same thing.
He's in Las Vegas now, huh? We pay that dude that type of money to come back for a year. He said he tried. He came out. He said, I'm going to ignore everything. I'm about to be everything. I'm about to do this, ignore that, and be somebody. And then the first 2 weeks,
he's ignored the receiver on the other side of the ball.
He's ignored the receiver that he's trying to cover. It's like, what are you doing?
Come on, man.
Here's the problem. Actually, I haven't looked into the actual facts of how much we would owe him if we cut him. But
I think a lot of it is tied up with his signing bonus and stuff. So there's no choice to cut him. There's no choice but to keep him. Cutting him would do basically nothing.
The problem is it's like, what do we have behind him? It's not like,
right.
It's not like, you got Eric Stokes, but then besides that,
Yep.
You got to have 3 corners in the NFL these days, and your third one's got to be a nickel. And I don't know if Kevin King can play in the slot, play nickel corner.
Right.
It's just one of those things that, I have nothing wrong with. I have nothing wrong with him as a person. He's always seemed like, he's got good vibes, blah blah blah, and all that. But it's like, dude, come on.
It's like, dude,
so be the guy you want to be. Be him.
Just be half that guy, and we wouldn't have as big of an issue. I seen earlier today, according to PFF, King's pass coverage stats kind of look like this through the first 2 weeks: 6 targets, 5 completions for 133 yards. That it's kind of hard to defend him, obviously, with this kind of info, and makes you want to see more of Eric Stokes, like all of us do. I think we'll see all 3 of them out there, King, Stokes, and Jair, but I don't think he'll officially be sat or anything during the season. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he'll always kind of have a role, whether he's playing on the corner or on the outside or in the inside. I don't know. He's long, athletic. I hope he does good. I guess we'll see kind of Sunday night whether, he'll get some legit playing time at both or in the slot. If Stokes comes in, we'll see. So, boom. Packers beat the Lions 35-17. We moved to 1-1. A must-win game that I had said on Monday, and they got the job done. So,
yeah, my prediction was wrong. What did I say? I said 27-24.
Yep.
I said game-winning field goal. I just didn't have the trust at the time. I know we're 11-point favorites, but hey, you got to prove it before. You got to prove it to make me believe it. I'm that type of guy.
Yes, sir.
So
I get it. So, 49ers Sunday Night Football in San Francisco. Obviously, just a couple hours ago, some big news coming out. Elton Jenkins did not practice because of an ankle injury from Monday night. If EJ can't go, who's your replacement for him, and how does that kind of impact the game against the Niners defense? They got Nick Bosa on the other side, who's just a freaking beast. What do you think we do if he can't go?
Well, according to the depth charts, Dennis Kelly or Josh Nijman, can't pronounce it. Josh Nijman. One of the two. It seems like, and I don't want to necessarily say good depth, but it seems like we have a little bit more depth at the guard position than we do at the tackle position for obvious reasons. So I don't know if it'd be something like that where they kick somebody out. what I've seen them do in the past is if they have issues is maybe play Mercedes a little bit more, a little bit extra blocking from the tight end help.
Have him be back there. He's either on, lined up on the line or kind of like an H-back or whatever.
Tunyon put a little bit of shoulder, maybe Daphne in there a little bit.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
maybe Jay Sternberg.
if he's out, oh yeah. if Jacobs is out, I mean, it just might have to be a run game. I mean, Rodgers is not going to be able to hold on to the ball forever against their D line. He can't hold on to the ball forever.
Right. I had seen today. Most people were kind of saying, well, you plug in Dennis Kelly, whether it's at left tackle or right tackle, and they decide to move Billy Turner over.
Well, Billy
left tackle. Either way, obviously, it's a huge loss if he's not able to play, because we all know how good EJ is. So let's just hope for the best and hope he plays. Other news that came out today: Jay Sternberger was released. Saw that a couple hours ago, and then also saw he's now with the Seahawks practice squad. Former third-round pick. I don't know if you have something to say about him. He just seemed like a dude that never really got, strung some consistent together.
Going back to last year's opening game versus the Vikings, I remember he dropped a wide open pass, and for some reason, I'm always going to have that vision in my brain.
Yeah, it's tough.
He was dragging across the middle, and he dropped a wide open pass. He just never. It sucks because when we drafted him, one of my friends, he had texted me, and we were talking like, "Oh, hey, that's a good pick. Green Bay needs tight end."
I thought so too.
So I was like, "Hey, that dude, he was pretty solid in college, and so it seemed like he was going to be a good pick, but he just never turned out." Luckily, Big Bob Tunyon took care of that role.
Yes, sir. Big boy. He's a freaking stud.
Whatever. It's the NFL. Guys didn't work out. He didn't work out. Sucks. Wish he would have been something better. But
yeah, overall, not surprised. So next up, I didn't really talk with you about this before the show. I'm gonna say a name, and you tell me if they've underperformed through 2 weeks, performed kind of as what we expected, or if they like outperformed expectations. Just say one of those three after I say a name. You ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, first up, Adrian Amos.
What I expected.
Rashawn Gary.
Never too high, never too low. Rashawn Gary. This one, I'll give me an extra sentence. What I expected, because I didn't expect him to completely dominate, but I also am hoping for more out of him. So what I expected, he's right there. He's playing well, but I want more for the preseason hype.
No, I get it. Royce Newman.
Gotta go. I mean, really, there wasn't high expectations. So what I expected, I mean, you haven't heard, there hasn't been bad, what I expected.
Yeah. I would have went outperformed because I didn't think he would even start. So I guess just getting the starting role, I guess, outperformed my expectations. But yeah, I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, Devondre Campbell. And we're only through 2 weeks, so it's so early. Like, Rashawn could come out next week and have 3 sacks and a forced fumble.
Yeah, see, I know you're going to say overperform for Devondre Campbell. That first quarter left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but other than that, I mean, he had 13 tackles. I mean, so you guys
a pick late in the game. Obviously, it all matter, but
we'll give him overperform because he's a nobody coming into what I expect, but I also think he was overmatched at the beginning of the game.
Okay, next up, Darnell Savage.
Underperformed.
Yeah.
I want him to become something big.
There was a lot of hype for him this offseason. Outside of Ben Fennell, I apologize, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. He's the kind of one of the guys where, like, I don't know what we do with this guy. He doesn't do a whole lot that you're wanting him to.
He needs to be something in Joe Barry's defense. The safeties were key last year for him with the Rams. So
yep.
I'm gonna say underperform.
Kevin King.
What I expected, which was underperforming.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, last but not least, Aaron Rodgers.
I think two
Through
weeks
2 weeks,
doesn't do 2 weeks doesn't do anything for me because he puts up one stinker every year. So
but
if
through 2 weeks, he only has 4 touchdowns and 2 picks.
I know, I'm going to say underperform because he missed three throws to MVS in week 2. Although he had a really good game elsewhere to a point.
Yep.
In week 1, he just didn't look good. Some of those interceptions were just gross, so underperform.
So sorry, that wasn't my last one. I got one right now. Joe Barry.
What I expected because I just don't think this defense is. I don't think this defense is elite.
No, I
Regardless,
get it.
they've
Andy Herman said it perfect. He had said something to the effect of like, you're a restaurant and you hire a chef that didn't do good at his 2 previous restaurants, and your restaurant isn't very good, but you hired the chef to come in and use the same ingredients to make it better. Sorry if I botched that, but basically,
it
the
makes
same
sense.
ingredients, new coach. What do you expect?
Same ingredients, new coach, same restaurant. If you hire me to use the same ingredients and I'm not very good, how am I going to make it better?
Right. So,
Yep.
okay. Before we move on to trivia, I was at the game the other night, and there was this freaking old head there that was just it was just sad to watch. So this
Call
guy
him
right
out.
here,
Call him out.
yeah, this
Call him
freaking
out.
guy right here in the hat. So we all know, like, get the frick up and get loud. Not on defense. Not on offense. This is on defense. The scoreboard literally says, with Adrian Amos doing this, it says get up and get loud. And this poor guy right here was standing up. It seemed like it might have been his first game. He was taking a bunch of pictures
The
and
worst
whatnot.
person.
What you say?
The worst type of person.
Yes, he was freaking up there. And let me add that this guy in the jersey is not even obstructing the guy in the hat's view. So this guy in the Gyre jersey enjoying the game. He seems super nice. He's not drunk. He's not obnoxious. This old guy in the hat was like, "Come on, sit down." I was like, and I was sitting directly behind him, as you can tell from the picture. I took the picture. I was like, I didn't say anything because why would I say something, right? Get kicked out or some bullshit. Anyways, he literally says like, "Come on, sit down," and the guy kind of turns around and just kind of didn't say anything, but looked like he was like, "Okay," and like sat down and that is the worst type of fan. Like, I get it. He seemed like he had season tickets. He's there quite a bit. He kind of knew the guys around him. They were talking whatnot. But the whole game, like, he's kind of talking about the guy standing up. It's like, dude, one, he's not even in your way. And two, like, the scoreboard literally says get up and get loud. Like,
Listen, there hasn't been a home game with a full capacity for 2 years.
right.
If I'm working my ass off all week to make money, and I'm gonna spend a few $100 on my tickets, $100 a night on a hotel, food. I'm gonna drop $500 to go to this game. Our gas too, potentially more.
And
Some
the time.
people cross country spend thousands of dollars to go to this game. I don't care if you go to every game, what game. Not only that, but you are in the second row.
Yeah.
The second row, and you're going to try to tell me to sit down? Get lost.
Get freaking lost.
Get lost, buddy.
Like,
Because
goodness. Like,
there's
dude.
zero chance.
And
Your
he's
old
not even
ass
obstructing
won't
your
go.
view. Like,
Yeah,
that makes no
your
sense.
view of what? The security
The
guard?
corner of the end zone that nothing's happening on, like
It does not matter. You do not. I don't show up to this game spending $500 and get told to sit down. Are you
why would you want to
kidding
sit down?
me?
Like, I get it.
I mean, that guy can just take the excitement out of the game.
Yeah, which sucks.
He can
'Cause then
literally just
this guy up front's like, crap, I gotta sit down. Like, and then when he wants to stand up and cheer, he's like got in the back of his head, like, oh, I don't want this old guy to yell at me, and like I don't want, maybe he's not a confrontational type of guy. But it's like, dude, one, he's not even in your freaking way. And two, the scoreboard legit says get up. Like, goodness. I get if we're on offense and we're quiet and the guy's standing up, that's cool. And you want to say something and asking him, ask him nice. Like, I get it. But like, dude, just it just sucked to see because I was bummed for the guy up front because it looked like he was having a good time. And I was like, well, sorry, dude. This
You know
old
what?
dude's just a freaking crab. And
I
yeah, he's
mean,
probably a closet Lions fan. Probably, dude.
I can't get that type of person. I don't understand that type of person.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
I would never be that way. And even if he was in my way, I would never go out of my way to say, hey, could you sit down? I would just stand up. Like,
if somebody's standing in front of you and they're throwing beers around, is getting in your face, they're being obnoxious, they're hitting you, moving around, that's one thing if they're in your personal space. But if I'm standing at my chair and I'm rooting on my team at the home opener, I don't even give a shit if it's week 6 and I spent my money, I traveled 5 hours to go to the game.
right.
F you, man.
Like,
F you.
I don't get that. Are you a type of guy that stands or sits?
Me,
Like,
stand all
yeah,
day. When I went to, and even when I went to the PGA Championship back in '09 or something like
yep.
that in Minnesota, I had the same type of problem with a guy at a golf tournament that wanted me to sit down when we were on the 18th hole when Tiger Woods was coming up. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm standing up because I'd be
No.
standing up at home.
Well,
This dude can sit down at home.
yeah, I get it. I'm a stand up guy and I stand at the games. So
Oh,
I
good
freaking
one.
I love I love staying at the games. Like, you don't want to sit on these hard ass bleachers, or if you got a seat back chair like
Yeah,
I grab,
that stuff is uncomfortable.
like, why would you want to sit like? And I was sitting next to a couple of ladies. My wife was sitting next to a Lions fan and their dad. They were nice. The old ladies were like, I was so glad I saw. She's like, I was so happy that I saw you and your wife sitting next to us because you just never know what type of fans you're gonna get, whether they're oversized, is what she said, or they're loud and spilling beers or getting up every couple seconds. Like, you guys have just been so good and so nice. Like, we really appreciate it. And I was
The
like, yeah, like,
the
we're
worst
nice, normal people.
the worst fans I ever sat next to was Green Bay versus Giants home game. The year we went 15-1, and we had some guys. There were some guys that flew in from New York, and
Oh,
I
jeez.
mean, talk about the most obnoxious style of fan. Not only that, but I mean, and they have every right to say whatever they want at anybody's stadium, home or away, and they won, so they had the right to talk crap. But man, if you want to talk about just being an annoying fan, standing up, being loud, obnoxious, just being one of those people that, I mean, you're drunk, go
Yeah,
home.
I know, I get it. So we're running pretty late. Let's move on here. Say goodbye to this guy in the hat. Man, I hope he was
Hopefully,
stuck
we
in
say
traffic for like
goodbye.
6 hours on his way home, and then got home and his friggin' I don't even want to say anything mean. So no, hope you got stuck in traffic for a couple hours and
All
didn't get
right.
a good night's sleep.
So
So
what do we got? We got trivia.
all right, we got trivia, baby.
So,
Who was the MVP? Go ahead, you go for it. My bad.
oh, you're good. You're good. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 31?
This is a somewhat easy one, but
Super Bowl 31.
it's a fun one because obviously we won the game 35-21
Yep.
against the Patriots. I was 3 years old. Do I remember it? No. But I'll be rooting for it all day long, baby. So while we get that rolling out, some kind of final tidbits for the Packers 49ers game. Elton Jenkins, obviously, we were just touching on that. Came out earlier. Oh, Desmond Howard, let's go.
Little row, baby.
Good man. Coming in hot again. Desmond Howard, congrats, my man. You got it. Shoot me a DM on Twitter and we'll give you a shout out or something. So that was easy. I'm just guessing. Favre. You are incorrect, Nick.
Favre didn't win it. He did. He had
Incorrect.
the big touchdown to Andre Rison, but he
Yep. Yeah, Desmond had that 99-yard kick return. So,
big kicker.
all right. Should we wrap her up, huh? Some final tidbits here, huh? Let's do get these out of here. Perfect. Elton Jenkins, like we said earlier, out a practice today. Could be out for the game. Coach said they're going to kind of give him all week
Yeah,
to decide if he's going to play or not.
let's hope so.
We touched on that. I hope he goes. Obviously, Bosa's just a beast. Next up, my factor of the game. I'll ask you after I'm done. My one factor is MVS. I know the run game did decent last game, but MVS, if he catches one or two of those bombs, I mean, we would have won 42, 49, 17, 49, 21 or whatever. I think if he catches one bomb, the game is kind of flipped upside down if we get a turnover. MVS bomb is what I'm hoping for. What do you got?
Players play the game, but coaches they create the atmosphere of the game of what's going on.
You're a coach at heart, so I get where you're coming from.
It's got to be Matt LaFleur for me. He has to stay the course of the game plan. If we go down 14-0, do not be afraid to run the ball.
Just keep handing it off. At least give our defense the time to rest, because if they get the time to rest, maybe they're a little more aggressive, a little more energized. They can get a turnover, and next thing you know what I mean?
So, kind of a fun fact. So, last year in Green Bay's 4 games they lost, they had their least run attempts, I think the 3rd and their 4th and the 5th or 6th least run attempts in the game. And 3 or 4 of those games they lost by less than a touchdown. Then in 2019, their 4 losses, least run attempts, 2nd least, 3rd least run attempts. So in those games, there's a trend. In the 8 games and 2 weeks ago when they lost, the nine losses in the last 3 years, there's a huge trend of not running the ball. And some of them were blowouts, but they, like I said, there was a good amount of them that they abandoned the run game right away.
Right.
Some of them they were within touchdowns. So I'm gonna go with Matt LaFleur as the guy that needs to make the difference.
Good. I'm right there with you. Like you were saying with the run stuff, I had seen some similar stat where when Rodgers threw it more than 35 times, their record was not good. So same thing. Not less passing, but get right around that 30 mark like we did last week, and then run the ball even a little more than we did last week. And more likely than not, we don't turn the ball over, and maybe our defense forces 1 or 2, and yeah, we're golden. So any last words? Let's do a prediction here quick.
Yeah, let's do a prediction.
All right, go for it. I'll let you go first.
What have you seen what the opening line is yet? Not that that'll make any effect on me.
I haven't. No.
I think I'm going to go with 27-21.
Okay.
I don't think we'll hit the 30 mark. I think they're too good defensively, but I also don't think we'll put up a stinker. So I'm going to go with 27-21.
Cool. I think the offense really gets going and kind of rides the run game regardless of the O-line. I think it's questionable. I think the O-line is questionable but optimistic. And obviously with the Niners front 7 and just their defense overall is good. Rodgers obviously with a few big plays, maybe one to MVS, maybe one to Cobb, maybe one of those like one-handed crazy ones in the end zone like against the Rams, I think it was that one year.
It's not Cobb's time yet, Rob.
It might be.
He'll save that for a bigger week.
Okay. Score 34-23. I think the defense gets a turnover, gives us a short field.
Ooh.
And if we don't receive at the end of the, or if we don't receive at the beginning of the game, we can double up at halftime. Obviously, you saw all of our predictions, both mine and yours for week 1, and we were completely wrong. Last week we were pretty spot on, but I'm going, but 34-23. I think we win. A lot of people aren't really high on us, so I guess maybe it'll be the shock the world type of deal. I don't know, but 34-23.
Hey, I mean, in Rodgers is week by week. It's only one game thing.
Yep.
One thing.
Let's get it.
There's just one game, baby.
Let's get it. Any last words before we hop off?
I'm trying to teach my son go pack go. So hopefully give me 2 weeks and then we'll get a go pack go and I'll get a little clip of it and we'll play it.
I was going to say in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks we got to bring him on here and get him to say it. My daughter's only just over 2 months, so almost 3 months now. So
give me a couple weeks and I'll get a clip and we'll show the newest Packer fan of GBP Daily.
Kevin
And
King 2 pick sixes ain't gonna happen. Sorry.
I got some stuff for you. The GBP Daily blanks are in, so there'll be some new GBP Daily merch.
Let's get it.
That's going to be in your hands.
Yes, sir.
Later.
No freaking doubt. All right. Once again, thank you all for tuning in, and we appreciate all the comments and obviously everybody for taking the time of their day to talk some Packers with us. All the links to our socials are in the description below. Tune in next week, same time, same place. For John and myself, we will catch you guys later.